All right, thanks everybody for joining us for our emergency meeting for October 19th, 2021. I do want to start by acknowledging that we are meeting on the unceded traditional territories of the Comox First Nation. We do have a notice to waive notice. All right, thanks everybody for joining us for our emergency meeting for October 19th, 2020.
Mayor, I'll move that whereas a special council called to allow for council to immediately consider the city's response to a significant fire event at the Travelodge Courtney Motel that has resulted in the displacement of 25 supportive housing residents. And whereas any delay in the city's consideration of response options would have a negative effect on those community members displaced by the Travelodge Courtney Motel fire and the social service providers assisting in the response efforts. And whereas the city has made reasonable efforts to give advance notice of the special council meeting by posting meeting notices at City Hall, 830 Cliff Avenue, and on the city's website, therefore be it resolved that council waive notice of this special council meeting in accordance with the council procedure bylaw number 2730/2013, section 8.
Second.
Excellent. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Yep. Yep. Yeah. So Councillor Theos, as I mentioned before, you're going to have to verbally vote.
Okay, I'm in favor. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
And thanks, Ms. O'Connell, for pointing that out. And we do have some new business.
Earlier has been subsequently completed to include further authority. So please refer to the motion you're seeing on the screen. The motion recommended by staff.
Okay, Councillor Paul Hamilton.
Okay, so I can move this. Whereas a significant fire event took place at the Travelodge Courtney Motel on October 19th, 2021, starting at approximately 3 a.m. And whereas the Travelodge Courtney Motel is presently used by the BC government to provide temporary supportive housing, and whereas the fire event has resulted in the displacement of supportive housing residents, and immediate and urgent action is needed to house some of the displaced residents, and whereas the displacement of individuals due to the fire at the Travelodge Courtney Motel is an emergency situation requiring immediate response and support by the City of Courtney, and expecting that further actions and activities may still be required by the City of Courtney to support displaced residents and community service providers, and swiftness of response is of paramount importance. Thank you. Therefore, be it resolved that to provide emergency shelter services up to a maximum of 10 individuals displaced by the October 19th, 2021 Travelodge Courtney Motel fire, Council exercise their authority under the BC Building Code section 1.1.1.1.1 sub 2 sub F sub 4, and exempt the Connect Center located at 685 Cliff Avenue from the building code, having deemed it to be a temporary emergency facility under the following conditions. Shelter fire services to be offered to displaced residents at the Travelodge Courtney Motel due to fire. Shelter services to be offered to no more than 10 displaced individuals. Designate that at least one staff member to conduct fire safety patrols during operating hours, and ensure that staff are not assigned to any other functions or responsibilities while on fire safety patrols. Ensure staff are trained by the fire department on emergency procedures prior to shelter activation, and the building code exemption remain in effect until such time as alternative accommodations can be found for displaced residents of the Travelodge Courtney Motel, or until November 2nd, 2021, whichever comes first. Therefore, be it further resolved that Council delegate authority to the Chief Administrative Officer to implement and action further response and support activities deemed in his discretion as necessary to support the emerging needs of displaced residents and social service providers responding to the Travelodge Courtney Motel fire event.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Does staff want to speak to this at all, Mr. Garber?
Thank you, to Mayor and Council. We do have quite an emergency situation as outlined in the resolution. We've worked very closely with social service sector, Comox Valley Transition Society. We're working with BC Housing and the Comox Valley Mercy Program. We have something that we need immediate action on, and I believe that this is the right and due course for us to take. Hence our recommendation.
Right. Thanks very much. Any questions or comments? Seeing none. All those in favor? Oh, Councillor Hillian, did I? Okay. Councillor Theos, if you could vote verbally.
Yes, I'm just curious as to, is everyone okay? Like at the lodge?
Well, we can probably, we're just right in the middle of the vote. So if you vote, but then I'll let Mr. Garbett finish and he can give us a little bit of an update.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, I'm in favor then.
Thanks very much. That's unanimous. And I'll give it back to Mr. Garbett to maybe give a bit of an update, but hopefully that gives staff the ability to move forward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, to council. We had circulated a little bit of information through an email, but for clarification, there was a fire at the Travelodge Hotel. Courtney Fire responded with the assistance of Comox Fire. Approximately 30 residents were displaced by the fire. We had one person that was taken to hospital via BC ambulance. They're reported to be in good condition. And so ultimately the next steps will be assessment of the building. There'll be some fire investigation. The RCMP, previous information that I have, are in control of the site. And that's where we are at this situation.
Thanks very much. Councillor Theos, there was an email that went out as well that may have some more information in there. But again, as this is sort of an emergent issue, we did feel the need to meet right away to make sure that we could get this resolved so that staff could continue working. Councillor Morin.
Great, thank you, Mayor. I'm just curious whether there are additional provincial supports in cases like this beyond the usual emergency services for folks in this situation who are in a supported living type environment.
Thank you. Through the mayor to Councillor Morin. When emergency social services are activated in an emergency situation, we have that process. As these people are involved, I think through BC Housing, it would be dealt with slightly differently in terms of supports that are available. That's our understanding.
Thank you.
So thanks for the question. Any further questions? I know Councillor Hillian, did you have a comment or question?
I was going to ask about any injuries or harm that we were aware of, and that's been covered. I was also wondering if we know the status of the remainder of the building and residents who, I don't know if the 30 people displaced are the total of those who are there under the auspices of supportive housing, or if there are others that remain. Perhaps that's more information than you have at present, but if there's an update on that, please.
Through the mayor to Councillor Hill, we don't have all of those details. The people that were impacted are receiving services at this point, and there's further information to be collected, I would say.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks very much. And as we've seen by the emails this morning, this is certainly an evolving situation. And we basically have all hands on deck trying to resolve it as quickly as possible. So again, just want to thank staff. I believe emergency services were involved as well. And it sounds like it was a well-coordinated, collaborative approach. So with that, I don't see any further questions or comments. We have voted. There's only one thing left on the agenda. Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor of adjournment? Any opposed? Thank you very
I'm in
much.
favor.
Oh, you too. Thank you, Councillor Theos.
You're welcome.
We'll see you shortly, Councillor Theos, virtually.
Appreciate it.